The majority of your thoughts in any given day are negative, and you've had them before.
This is The Deep Dive with Adam Roa.
What up, deep divers? Hello, hello. It is your boy, Adam Roa. I am here today to give you a practical exercise that you can use to help rewire your brain and start to give yourself new neurological patterns so that you can break out of the negative thought patterns that you are consistently running unconsciously over and over every single day. How's that sound? Sound good? You want that? All right, stick around. Before I go into that, please, if you have not already, make sure that you leave a review on this podcast. Let me know what you're enjoying about it. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and all the places that this is airing. And make sure that you're tagging me in your social media posts. Let me hear from you. I am starting to share a lot of poetry here. I'm starting to share. I've been going through some intense personal stuff. So there's a lot of intense personal podcasts because that's what I do. And knowing how it's impacting you, whether that be through, social media and tagging me and letting me know or sending me a message, I would greatly appreciate it because I right now I'm talking into a camera and a microphone, but the ability to hear from you lets me know that it's making a ripple of impact. So thank you. And now let's get into this. If you want to do this in real time, like pause it and do these things, then I suggest that you grab something to write with and on, right? Grab a journal, a paper, pencil, pen, whatever that is. You can do this on a computer or a phone if you want, but I'm going to give you this exercise so you can do it over and over on your own time, right? And this is based on the science that indicates that people have anywhere from the most recent studies that I saw showed 6,000, but other studies have shown somewhere between 12,000 and even up to 60,000 thoughts per day. 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And I know that's a huge range, but you could imagine how difficult it is to try and determine what's a thought based on electrical impulses in the brain. So there's a big range, but let's just pick an easy number for math. Let's just say it's 20,000, right? We're not even going halfway between 6 and 60. Let's go on the lower end. Let's say you have 20,000 thoughts in a day, right? Of those thoughts, 80% of them are negative. Scientifically, 80% of your total thoughts in a day are negative. And this is according to the National Science Foundation, by the way. And 80% of them are negative, which means that 16,000 thoughts per day are negative. They're judgments, they're things that could go wrong, fears, doubts, insecurities, anger. Of those thoughts, of the 20,000 total thoughts, 90 to 95% of them are repetitive. That means that you have had them before. Only about 5% of your thoughts are new on any given day. So what that means is out of 16,000 thoughts, out of 16,000 of them, the vast majority, like 15,000 of them, are negative thoughts that you have had about yourself and life before. Powerful. Like, let that sink in. The majority of your thoughts in any given day are negative, and you've had them before. Now, there's biological reasons for this. You can go and look into it, right? Having fear is a survival mechanism. Being doubtful of like, is this safe? Is that safe? Should I do this? Should I not? Being risk adverse is the survival mechanism. If you think back to like prehistoric times and all of the humans, and it was you and a buddy, and your buddy's not afraid of anything, and you're afraid of everything, and you hear the twigs break in the bushes over there and you take off running and your friend laughs at you. And then, that happens 3 times, 4 times. And on the 5th time, that motherfucker gets eaten. We're going to have to bleep that out. But that dude gets eaten. He doesn't have kids. Literally, we are the descendants of all of those dudes that ran away from the sound over and over and over again. Fear is what kept us alive in many ways. But we have now evolved into a society where that doesn't need to be the case. We have taken some level of control over our physical environment, and it's safer on this planet than it's ever been before. And so we don't need to have that same perspective. We don't need to be there. But it's still ingrained in us, as evidenced by the National Science Foundation, this research. The vast majority of your thoughts are negative and repetitive. So here's an exercise to help you break that down. What's up, deep divers? Hope you're enjoying the episode. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know about my new nonprofit, Surrendered Artist. This is a charity organization that I have founded because I want to teach people the power of art as a technology to shift human consciousness. I've spoken about it a lot on this podcast, and now there's an actual organization that is dedicated to spreading this information. It is also aiming to empower artists with tools to shift out of the starving artist archetype and into a surrendered artist archetype. One of those tools is my 4-step creative process called Unlock Your Inner Artist. We have a free gift for you. If you go to surrenderedartist.org/programs, or if you check out the link in the show notes, you'll be able to receive a free multi-page PDF describing this process so that you can go and unlock your inner artist today to break those patterns. What I want you to do is I want you to draw 3 columns. In the first column, I want you to start listing out all the negative thoughts you can think of. Literally just go until you run out if you can, or set a timer for a certain amount of time and just list them out. I'll never be happy. I'm never going to be good enough. I'm always going to be alone. People don't like me. All of those thoughts. Life is scary. You can pause this if you want to do it now, or just take mental note of how to do this, but I do encourage you to actually do it. You're gaining awareness right now, but awareness is not change. You need to make new choices. Take the action on this. So in that first column, you're writing out all the negative thoughts you can think of in this moment. In the second column, you are going to make those realistic by removing the doom and gloom from them. That means removing all of the nevers and the evers and the always, the statements of fact, and you're going to presence them to a feeling in the moment. So what that looks like is, I'm never good enough. That would be written in the second column. That would be the first column. The second column would say, I don't feel good enough right now. Say, if you said that life is, or I'm scared of everything in the first column, the second thing would be, I feel scared right now. If it was something like, I'm always going to be alone, in that second column, I'm alone right now. And you're going to presence it to the truth of what you feel and the reality of your situation presently. And after you've done that for the entire column, matching everything in the first to everything in the second, you're going to move on to the third. And in that third column, what you're going to do is you are going to write out the positive that has come from for what you could see happening from that fear. So I'll always be alone, first column. Second column, I feel lonely right now. Third column, I will find. All right, let me change it. I'm doing this right now in real time. What you could come from that is, I haven't always been lonely. Or that could look like, I will find a companion. if you had something that said, people don't like me, in the second column, you'd write, I don't feel like people like me right now. And in the third column is, I have friends. I have made friends before. I have had deep relationships. I am a kind and loving person. Any of those sorts of statements, whatever feels true for you. And that's why the third one, if you can tell, the third one for me is a little bit more complex, because the tethers of what that first column mean to you, like what does it actually mean to you, to what you get to translate it to, the I will always be alone for one person, the positive end of that spectrum being I will find my soulmate one day, to I have friends that love me. Depending on who you are and what those fears are and what's going on underneath the surface, that will be determining what you put in that third column. And what happens is that every time that by doing this several times, you start to create a pattern in your own mind, so that the next time you have the negative thought, without needing to bring out the pad and the paper and the pen, you have that negative thought and you can start to shift it to the second column and even the third column in your mind on your own. That can start to be a habit. That can be the instinct that happens right away. And what's going to happen is that is going to rewire and rewrite the stories that are playing out consistently over and over and over every single day. Because you don't need to carry that weight. You can let that go. And by doing that, you rewrite your biology. So you're no longer that person that's running from every sound in the bushes. And your children don't carry that. And their children don't carry that. And we shift this planet from fear into love. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for being in this. Make sure that you share this with someone who needs to hear it, and maybe get together some friends and some family, your kids, your mom and dad, do it all together. Share what comes up for you. I want to remind you that always, in all ways, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved.